Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for being with us here on KXAN Live. Will Dupree coming to you from the KXAN Live studio on a chilly morning out there in downtown Austin. Some clouds hanging overhead, bit of a dreary day, but we want to tell you about all the changes that are in store for our forecast and get you ready for tomorrow because, as we mentioned, there is so much to talk about. So meteorologist Kristen Currie is joining us here this morning. Kristen, you come bearing some somewhat bad news, but we appreciate you doing it.
You know what? I'm just the messenger, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mother Nature, she's in charge here, but oh, she's going to be mean this week.
Oh, yeah, let's get into those temperatures a little bit. So we're talking about single-digit temperatures, and what the wind will feel like will make it even colder.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal. And I want to be very clear, Will, yes, it will be dangerously cold. Will this be a repeat of last February? No. Not by any stretch of the imagination. It might feel like it at times, right? Because we're going to get the flashbacks of the cold and the wind chill, but I do not expect snow. I do not expect ice. All I'm expecting is some really, really cold temperatures and wind. So let's get into it. Where's this air coming from? Well, you can see what our neighbors up to the north are dealing with, right? We're talking 14 below zero in Billings, 15 below in Fargo. This is the cold air that is sinking south today. It will be in our area tomorrow. So let me walk you through the timing of this, because really today is going to be the last day to prepare. You're going to have no issues this afternoon, this evening, getting out, going to the hardware stores, going to the grocery stores, and stocking up. It's tomorrow things start to change real quick. So this is 7 a.m. tomorrow. We wake up to 30s and 40s, right? Watch those temperatures crater behind that cold front. I mean, tomorrow around 10 a.m., we're in the 50s in Austin, and we're near freezing in San Saba, right? So I'm expecting Northwest Hill Country to start to see this cold front between about 7 and 9 a.m. Austin, 10 a.m. to about 1 p.m., and then this is going to clear to our south 1, 2, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, these temperatures are going to continue dropping. So tomorrow's going to be one of those weird, wacky days where we probably see our high temperatures sometime around late morning, and then they'll just plummet behind that front. This is tomorrow evening. We've got temperatures, actual air temperatures in the 20s. I've put the wind arrows on top of this just to tell you and remind you, it's not even just a 26, it's a 26 and windy behind that cold front. And then we continue to see our temperatures drop. I mean, really, the bottom falls out on the thermometer. We're down to the teens tomorrow morning here, and there's going to be spots, some low-lying areas, some rural valleys that get even colder than that. I briefly mentioned the winds, right? We've got winds coming out of the north, anywhere from about 30, 40 miles per hour with the wind gusts. The wind chills are going to be a huge deal here. This is what it's going to feel like tomorrow afternoon. We're already below freezing, right? Watch as I put this into motion. By the time we hit the overnight hours tomorrow night into Friday morning, our feels like temperatures drop to the single digits, if not even below zero. It is going to be so cold. This is a dangerous cold. So much so that we've got the hard freeze watch issue. This kicks in tomorrow. It continues all the way through Saturday. And basically what a hard freeze watch means, it means we're going to see temperatures below 20 degrees. But because of the extension of that through Saturday, this is back to back to back hard freezes. We have at least 3 nights of hard freezes. And then on top of that, it's the wind chill. The wind chill watch is something you probably are looking at thinking, what does that mean? It's because we haven't ever seen one before. This is the first time Austin has ever seen a wind chill watch. We have seen a wind chill warning. That was last February. We got our first ever wind chill warning. Basically, what this is saying is the National Weather Service is saying, hey, we're very confident that our temperatures are going to get cold as maybe about 10 below zero. So here's a watch as a heads up. Look for this watch to turn into a warning as we get into the later part of today and tomorrow, Will.
First time ever to see a wind chill watch in our area.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, big caveat here. They've only started issuing these wind chill alerts about 5-6 years ago. So relatively speaking, they're a new alert in our toolbox of alerts, right? We don't issue these. The National Weather Service is in charge of issuing these weather alerts. But a wind chill watch, that's a new one for Austin. Like I said, the wind chill warning went up last February. It's going to go up. We're pretty confident in that as we get into the next 24 hours, just because there's nothing really stopping that cold Arctic air from spilling south. You can hide from the wind, but you can't hide from the cold.
That is for sure. And as people are thinking about, this watch will be in effect, what should they keep in mind to not only protect themselves, but others and people around them?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked, because this morning I was making a bullet point. I was like, okay, this is what I was thinking about, so I want to make sure you guys are thinking about it too. What am I doing today? This is your today to-do list. Did you call your family and friends? And this is something I would highly encourage those who maybe have out-of-towners coming in to Texas, right, to spend the holidays. If I'm living in New York and packing for Texas, I'm not thinking heavy coats, right? So you want to make sure your family and friends are packing accordingly if they're coming to visit. Number two, and this one's really, really important, our seniors, right? Our elderly neighbors, we want to make sure they are taken care of. Call them today. Make sure they've got food, water, and that their pipes are taken care of. If not, that is on your to-do list, right? That's the Texas spirit. That's who we are. We want to make sure that those who are more vulnerable are taken care of by the end of the day today. Did you cover your outside pipes? This was something I was doing yesterday, right? Because by the time you come home tomorrow, it'll be too late. You want to make sure the outdoor spigots are covered. If you don't have one of those fancy hose bibs, you can just wrap it in a towel and tape it, right? We don't have to worry about wet weather, so it shouldn't get wet. It's just you want to make sure it's insulated. And then, do your animals have shelter? I'm not just talking about your dog, your cat, whatever. We want to make sure all of those guys are inside, but even livestock, right? Livestock cannot be out there surviving wind chill of 0 degrees or 5 below. We want to make sure they're sheltered. And if you do have a barn or such, make sure they're not close to that door that's facing the north. Because the winds are coming out of the north, you want to get as far away from the north as possible. And then the last thing I would say is, do you have your important plants covered? And the reason I highlight important is because we'll lose vegetation in this freeze. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We don't build here in Central Texas planning for a 0 degree wind chill, right? So I'm talking about your favorite little peach tree in your backyard that barely survived the drought this summer. Make sure that's covered in bubble wrap, putting the sheet on top of it, and making sure it's secure. Put, cans or bricks or whatever you do on top of that blanket so it stays, and you're not going to see it blow away in the 30 to 40 mile per hour wind. So I thought, I posted this on my Facebook, Will, just to make sure everybody is prepared, because it brings back those scary flashbacks of February or even this past February, but there are things we can do today to prepare. And then we'll worry about the dripping the pipes inside and making sure the cabinets are open and such.
This is such an important thing, so I'm just going to leave it up for a little bit. And I will let you all know that if you're watching us, we will be having a live stream at about 10:30 this morning from Governor Greg Abbott and other state leaders talking about how they're preparing for this upcoming very cold weather that we're going to see here all across the state, not just in Austin. And Kristen, I'm looking at our Facebook feed, and a lot of people are joining us this evening or this morning, I should say, wondering a lot about what this might do to impact travel. Do you have any sense about what this might do on the roads out there all across the state?
I got you, Boo. Hold on.
Okay, great.
I will tell you, roads here in Texas, I'm not worried about, because it'll come through mainly dry. So if you're driving to Waco, Abilene, Dallas, I mean, they may see a few flurries up in North Texas, but it's not going to be the crippling ice storm like what we had back in February. Air travel might be a little rough, I'm going to be honest with you, just because the snow and the ice is going to be a concern for those up in the northern plains. So I'm going to show you here. This is actually one of the really neat tools we have in our weather system, and it kind of projects out in correlation where we expect inclement weather, where we will see flight delays, right? So this is this morning, maybe a little bit up there in the northern plains. That's where we're seeing snow now. Once I take you into the end of the day, this evening, you'll notice the yellows and the reds, maybe some minor to moderate delays coming out of the South Dakota region, Nebraska, some minor delays out of Omaha and Denver. Now, some things we keep in mind when I'm looking at this map and showing you on TV, Denver's a major hub for those east to west coast flights, right? So if we're seeing delays in Denver in the middle of the country, that can kind of snarl things and create that domino effect of delays elsewhere. Let me take you into tomorrow, Thursday, likely to be a major travel disruption. Like you'll notice, we've got that big old red plane in St. Louis, right? Some moderate to major delays expected because of the snow. And then this will continue to move towards the east, upper Midwest, upper Mississippi Valley into the Northeast. We do expect some moderate to major delays here. Now, I'm not talking about widespread cancellations, but I do think from about tomorrow through probably Saturday morning, it'll be touch and go for a few of our airports here because, they can fly through snow, they can fly through wind, but the combination of the two is really tough because you're losing visibility out there on the tarmac, right? On the runway, and they're not gonna jeopardize safety for that. So, if you can, and I know this is a big ask, right? Move your flight to today, move it to early tomorrow. I would highly suggest doing that. But I know it's tough, Will. First of all, flights are expensive, right?
Yeah.
Some of the airlines are dropping those change fees, but it's also Christmas is coming on Sunday, and I know a lot of people want to get home. I feel you on that. It's just really poor timing.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you're able to share that information with people because that is a big question. But just to reiterate what the conditions will be like here in Texas, the roads should be in good shape going into this as this front moves through.
Absolutely. I'm seeing, I had one model, one of like 5, showing 2 snowflakes in our area. So is it possible? Yes, anything is possible, right? Like I started, Mother Nature, she in charge. But I am not seeing the moisture, the lift, nothing that's showing ice or snow across most of Texas. I think everybody will get hit with the cold. There's no doubt about that. In fact, most of the lower 48, every state will get touched by this Arctic mass.
Wow.
But it's not necessarily an ice and snow event. It's going to be, can we stay safe without the hypothermia, the frostbite, in the cold, starting tomorrow, midday, through about Saturday.
And I do know that the city of Austin has put out information that they will be opening cold weather shelters at least later tonight and into tomorrow and really through the weekend. We have not learned the locations of those just yet, but we will get that information and pass it along as soon as we can because that will be an important resource with those temperatures so cold outside.
Absolutely, and although we do not expect mass power outages like what we had before, with 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, you can usually see a power line come down, with the tree branch or something. So we're trying to get the word out that today is the day to prepare because honestly, by midday tomorrow, you're not going to want to go outside when it's that cold and that windy. I do have one little piece of good news.
Yes, please
Can we
share
end with
that. I would love that.
Yes, one little piece. I know. I told Will when I first got in here, I'm always sharing bad news.
I know, but it's all right.
Let me show you. You ready for your Christmas Day forecast?
Please.
Let me show you your Christmas Day forecast because I never get to show the fun graphics on TV when we got crazy weather like this. So your Christmas Day forecast, if you're staying here in Central Texas, we start with a hard freeze, yes. But Christmas afternoon, I'm looking at Sunday afternoon, a high temperature of 47 degrees. So yes, we get above freezing. We got mainly sunny skies, dry conditions. Will it be a white Christmas? No. But at least we have, the light at the end of the tunnel. This isn't going to be a 6-7 day freeze like what we had in February. This will be about a 2, maybe 2.5 day freeze. And then we get some sunshine and some relatively milder temperatures by the holiday.
I love to see that. And the colder weather is nice, as we've talked about previously on this platform. But yeah, that cold weather these next few days, pretty big worry.
Absolutely. And, as a First Warning Weather team, we're here to answer your questions. So if I didn't get to something, you see it on the Facebook page, shoot me an email. I will try and get that answer to you. But first priority right now is safety in the cold. Yeah,
and mention everybody who's going to be coming in to pick up the coverage here today.
Yeah, good question. So we got everybody here today. Rich Siegel, Nick Bannon, and Sean Kelly will all be here covering the midday shift. And then Chief Meteorologist David Yeomans is going to be coming in. And I'll tell you what, Chief Meteorologist David Yeomans is going to be here every day, and he's even working Christmas. Y'all, you don't see the head honcho, the big chief, working the holidays in most big cities. So we'll give him a little love that he's going to be working and holding down the fort so the rest of us can spend our Christmas Day with our families.
Well, it would be much appreciated. Meteorologist Kristen Currie, thank you so much for joining us for this update. And I know that you'll be posting a lot on social media, so please give her a follow too.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Get ready again for this cold weather that will arrive tomorrow here all across Texas and affect the Austin area as well. You can find more information about the forecast details available on our website, kxan.com, as well as the KXAN News mobile app and the KXAN weather app. So much information to access and so many ways to do it. Thank you all again for watching here this morning. I'm Will Dupree. I'll join you back here in about an hour or so when Governor Greg Abbott shares an update about how the state is preparing for this upcoming cold weather. So we'll see you then. Take care, everybody.